Welcome to Café is for Closers, the show where sales stops feeling salesy. I'm Andres Mego, and every week we break down real conversations, real objections, and real wins so you can turn pressure into partnerships and close more deals the right way. So grab your coffee, aka your café, and let's jam. We made it.
Here we
What's
are.
up, guys? We have a very special guest today, Miss Yanni, who is just coming off the tail end of her biggest month to date, and we're going to go into what it took to get her here. She's had a incredibly volatile ride, I think, like many closers in the beginning, and she decided to not take no for an answer and prove to herself that she's capable of achieving everything she wanted. And so we're going to go into the ups and downs. But before all of that, Yanni, you want to take a minute just to introduce yourself before we dive in?
Yes, so I started my journey in sales through one of those sales is so easy you can take calls from the beach and make 10K
Oh
a month
yeah,
kind
you
of programs.
did. I forgot you did that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so technically I started closing 6 months ago and I had my biggest month so far, so here I am.
Here we are, and let's let the people know because people watching this are salespeople that love numbers. So, what'd you clear in May?
Just short of 15K, $14,500.
$14,500. How old are you?
22.
And you're still in college.
I am.
By the way, guys, I just found out about that like a week ago that Yanni's still in college. You're an honors student, right?
First class honors.
First class honors, has is closing on multiple accounts, and 6 months into the game, coming in completely new, just cleared pretty much a $15,000 month. Congratulations, much deserved. And let's talk about everything that you've gone through because, as we know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And I really want people to have like whole the full picture of what it really takes. When you first jumped in with me, I know you're pulling up your numbers. What were you averaging commissions?
So basically, I started in your community the first day that I started taking sales calls. But to be
Okay.
fair, back then I was anywhere between a few hundred to my maximum was 1,500 a month.
$1,500.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10x in a few months. I love that. Okay, let's get into it because we have a lot to talk about. Um, I guess first of all, because you jumped in with me, you started in our group, and what were some of like the biggest things that you wanted to work on that made you want to jump into the community?
For me, the reason why I jumped in the community in the first place was because I realized after a few interviews that it's not as easy and I don't have the skill set that I believed I had after I
Mm,
became a certified closer. So I was like, I'll need a lot more skill set than that. And this is the reason why I jumped in the community in the first place to get the skill set.
what made you realize that you weren't as good as you thought?
An interview where we did a role play and the recruiter completely shattered my delusional ego.
Really? What do you say? By the way, I'm looking at you, but my camera's here. And we're gonna work with it. So, what do you say to you?
I mean, I I felt so embarrassed after this interview because I was answering all of the questions and I'm usually very good at interviews, but during the role play we did objection handling and I froze. I didn't know what to say. I was so stuck. I was looping and I asked him what are the next steps from here and he didn't even hide the fact that I wasn't good enough to even lie to me that there would be next steps in the interview.
Even lie to me. Okay. Okay. Actually, I want to circle back to that because I think there's a lot of, especially young ladies coming into the industry, certified, and either they haven't yet or they're just starting the reality check that is the industry of what it really takes to get on good offers and make money. So you jumped in with me like once you got an offer, and what were some of the biggest changes that you noticed like in the first couple months?
The flow of the calls was way better. It was different than what I was doing before that.
Hmm.
And the good thing about it is that I didn't have enough time to learn bad habits. So I could use your framework and structure my script in a way that was really helpful to me. So even now, when I'm basically scriptless, I still have those foundations inside of at the back of my mind, and I understand how to run the call. So this was the most useful thing for me.
Perfect. I think that's great too to talk about. Is like there's some great sales trainers out there, but there's so much noise around scriptless, not scriptless, framework, word tracks, all that. All these things work, but it's a matter of progression. Like when you're completely brand new, having a script to learn the framework to actually know where you're going, no shame in that. And now a few months later, right, you get to the point where you don't need the script anymore, and you can start layering in the more advanced stuff. Um, I think with you, we worked on some sales training. What were other things that you got with working with me that really helped like excel your growth?
I think that the skill set itself was very valuable and very useful, but when I was where I was stuck was the emotional side of things, was the idea that sales is a self-development game. So at certain point I felt really confident about my skill set and
Yeah.
about my frameworks, word tracks. I was great at those. Like my conversations were 99% there, but I wasn't closing because I haven't worked on the internal side of things. And this is where you were the game changer on that.
Okay. What were some of the big changes for you in that regard? If you're open to share, you don't got to go into the private stuff.
Yeah, it's all right. So this is the part where I was like, okay, so I need some more support, some more individual support.
Hmm.
And this is where we uncovered that my problem was the vulnerability on the calls, holding space for people, understanding them in their fear, in their pain. And we did the nervous system reset. So
Hmm.
in the first few sessions that we did one on one, we didn't work on the skill set per se, but we were working on how do I show up as a different version of myself on calls. And this is where things completely skyrocketed because I didn't have to use word tracks anymore. I could just understand people in their fear and where they were. And
Mm,
I had a lot more rapport with them because of that.
yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. This game is like, as much as like can we just find the right script? It's like, yeah, you wish, right? There's like so much different layers to it. So I appreciate you sharing that. I'm curious for you, like, because you come from like a program where the expectations are with a little bit of training you can get an offer and make good money. I think what was it for you that made you say, hey, it's time for me to really invest in myself and like invest at a level that I've never invested in before?
To be fair, I always knew that it's not going to be so easy. I was getting into this game with the clear expectations that it's going to change me,
Yeah.
that I'm going to have I'll have to step outside of my comfort zone and I'll need to develop myself in different ways. So because of this initial program that I joined, I had a great network of other people, and I saw that the
Good.
people that were really successful and the people that were really making it in the industry didn't just stop at that level. They
Mm,
continued investing in themselves, and I was
yeah.
like, okay, so if they're doing it and they're seeing results, then maybe this is what I need to do as well.
Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. So now that you're like, you've had your first 15K month, and we were just talking about this of like, this is where a lot of reps start to fuck off. It's like, oh, I had one good month, and like all of a sudden they start, resting. And we've talked about how now, like, this is a real challenge, is proving to yourself that this can become your floor, and that 20 to 30K can absolutely become your norm. One thing that you were sharing before, if you're open to sharing, is like you had a manifestation or a vision board that you wrote out a couple of years ago. Do you mind sharing about that?
Yes. So because I'm coming from a small country and from a place where entrepreneurship is still growing,
Yeah.
for
Tell the
me,
people where you're from, girl.
I'm from Bulgaria,
Bulgaria, from a small town.
from a very small town, very, very close to the border of the country. So I
Yeah.
think people there don't make more than, if we have to convert it in dollars, the average salary there is probably less than $1,000 a month.
Okay. Okay.
So for me, back before I started traveling and exploring and getting into this industry, for me, in my manifestation journal, $3,000 a month was a big deal. I was like, this is impossible, and it's probably going to take me between 5 to 10 years to get there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That how long ago was that?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. So at 22, you surpassed what you had set as what felt like an unattainable goal 5 times bigger. How's it
Yeah.
feel?
It's surreal. I understand how much I've changed, and I know that this is just the beginning. I'm not going to stop here. So
Yeah.
it's very, it's very lovely to think about the progression that somebody can make if they just have the audacity to make.
The audacity, my favorite word. Yes, absolutely. What would you okay, that's actually a great segue here is like if there's someone considering, working with like another mentor like me, right? Who maybe is on the fence or maybe like doesn't feel like they might be ready yet, like coming from where you've come from, accomplishing what you've accomplished and knowing what it takes to get there, what would you tell
So there are two sides of that. One is people need to understand that they need to invest in themselves,
them?
period, because otherwise they're going to pay for their investment anyways. It can be with money or with time, and they they can shorten the time frame so much if they just rip the band-aid off and start investing in themselves. And the second part, working with you specifically, I remember a month ago where we had a conversation and I was telling you everything feels so much easier now. It feels easy and this is weird. And you were like, well, was it easy to invest in yourself? And I was like, no. And then you're like, well, think about it. You invested in yourself, which wasn't an easy decision. And that's why now you can enjoy the benefits of that by having an easy journey in the industry.
I'm proud of you. Just like hearing the way you talk.
Aw.
I'm proud of you, girl. Don't make me cry on this testimonial.
It won't be the
But
first time, though. Something that I'm really proud of, because Andres, I'm really grateful for you because of the work that we've done. You've helped me in many other areas outside of sales. So I'm so grateful that you were a part of this journey for me. And I'm proud of myself that I managed to, touch you and your soul as well during this journey.
yeah, we'll be real and honest here. So Yanni and I did some deep work in our one-on-one sessions, and then on one of those, yeah, Yanni had me tearing up because of her reflections, and it was really special to hear. And that's the side of sales, right? It's going to test you, like we talked about. It's a personal development journey. I could just see like the way you carry yourself, the way you speak now, like the way that you think about things before you say it. It's like you're just operating as a whole different human. Um, and one of the things, actually, you know, why I really wanted to have this conversation with you is to reflect to you from the beginning. Lindsay and I knew you're gonna be in this interview with us, like celebrating your biggest month from the beginning. And the reason why is how you showed up on every call. You were the first to raise your hand. You always had questions. You never came to a call unprepared. You did not care if you were taking up space from other students. And that is what I want to see from everyone. You said, I'm going to make the most out of this investment and get as much out of it. And it's like and I hold that high because like there's a reason you've progressed so quick, right? Like there was always something to work on. It was never passive. It was always intentional. It's like I'm here to learn. I'm here to make my money back and then some, right? And after like the second week, I remember talking to Lindsay. And you can even mention this to Lindsay. I told her I was like, she's gonna be a testimonial. Give her a few months, and here you are. And it's because like, yeah, just the way you showed up from the beginning, we saw it happening. And of course, there's so many things to work on, skill set, mindset wise, all the things. but you also just wanted it from the beginning. And so, like, I'm
Mm.
proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. What's next for Yanni?
Well, from here, I have already learned that to reach the next level, you need to come into a different identity. So right now, I'm building the identity of a $30,000 a month earner.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it is that this feels like the $3,000 back 3 years ago. So now it's like, how am I going to make this happen?
Yeah.
But I know that I will. I know that I will. And it's really exciting to think about what what is out there, all the opportunities and all the personal growth and the personal development that comes with it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you kind of spread your wings and like keep cracking income ceilings and making them your floors. I mean, you're more than capable of achieving that. Is there anything else you'd like to share to the audience here today?
Yes, actually, I think that what kept me sane throughout the whole journey, because I felt at some point that I might not be able to make it,
Mm,
and I was fired from an offer because I wasn't performing. I was, yeah, I had some very low months, and what really kept me going was remembering my why. I
mm,
remember in my most difficult moments, I was just sitting down, writing pages and pages and pages of why I'm sticking to this, why I'm doing it, why it is important, and what's my goal and my outcome. And I think
mm.
that if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. Yeah, the why are we here? Why are we doing that's a beautiful reflection because yeah, sales will test the fuck out of you. There's no way around it. But if you can stick through and you can come back to why you're doing this in the first place and what you're doing it for, then you'll find everything that you need is already inside you. Thank you, Yanni. It was so good to have you here. It feels like the prophecy is completed, you know, which is kind of cool because in my sales programs, like when I would join them, part of it was like I'm going to be a testimonial, and I always have for two of my coaches. The third one I would have been, I just never booked in the time. He forgot for some. But yeah, but the three I've worked in a bunch of programs, but the three most impactful for me became testimonials in all of them. So it's like this cool full circle moment. But we had you pegged from the beginning. We knew that you'd be here.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
coming on, girl. This is just the beginning. God, what I would do to have started sales at 22, because I didn't get into sales till at least high ticket sales till I was like 26, 27. I had done some sales beforehand, but like this industry was really where my career took off. Yeah, you're just getting started. You're going to make some serious waves. And I'm excited to celebrate that 30K mark. And who knows from there?
Thank you so much.
I'll see you in our next call. Thanks, guys. Peace. And thanks for hanging out on Cafe is for Closers. Be sure to subscribe to the show to never miss out on a conversation. See you next time.